Chapter 4. Some weeks later, near the end of May, a strange robbery occurred at the home of Reverend Bunting and his wife. Shortly before dawn one morning, Mrs. Bunting was awakened by the sound of bare feet tiptoeing softly outside her bedroom door and down the staircase. "Wake up, Mr. Bunting," she whispered to her sleeping husband. "Someone's here, in the house." The Reverend put on his glasses and slippers, then wrapped his wife's dressing gown around him. He armed himself with a poker from the fireplace and tiptoed out to the top of the staircase to listen. He heard noises coming from his study downstairs, followed by a loud, violent sneeze. With Mrs. Bunting closely behind him, the Reverend made his way down the dark stairs. The silence was broken only by the faint creaking of the stairs and some odd sniffles and rustling of papers in the study. When they got to the bottom of the stairs, everything was quiet again. They stood at the half-open door and peered inside. The room that had been left in darkness the night before was now lit by a candle on the desk. Its light revealed an open drawer, but there was no sign of a robber. Suddenly, the silence was broken by the clinking of coins. "He's found our housekeeping money," whispered Mrs. Bunting. "There's over 2 pounds in gold in that drawer." This news sent the Reverend into action. Gripping the poker firmly, he rushed into the room, shouting fiercely, "Surrender! I've caught you!" Reverend Bunting stopped so suddenly that his wife crashed into him. "Why, the room's empty!" he cried, looking around him in astonishment. "But I hear someone in here," insisted his wife. "I'm certain of it." They stood gaping for a minute, then began to search the room. They probed under the desk, behind the curtains, outside the windows, up the chimney, and even in the wastebasket. "How can this be?" cried the bewildered Reverend. "There's no one here, yet someone had to have lit the candle." "And the drawer!" cried Mrs. Bunting. "It's open, and our money's gone." There came a violent sneeze from the hallway. The Buntings rushed out of the study, only to be stopped suddenly by the loud slamming of the kitchen door. As soon as they had caught their breath, they hurried towards the kitchen and flung open the door. Dawn was just beginning to break, and its faint light showed only an empty garden outside. "The cellar!" cried the Reverend. "Bring the candle and follow me." A thorough search of the cellar and every cabinet and pantry in the kitchen revealed nothing. The couple then went on to inspect every room in the house. By the time the candle had burned down in Mrs. Bunting's hand, the Reverend and his wife were just as confused as when they had first seen it start to burn on the study desk.